Unlock your motivation. When you think about quitting, think about why you started. Motivation just might be the key for weight loss and many other life challenges. That special ingredient on which the success of the entire recipe stands. You can have the best diet plan ever created, as many trainers as money can buy, private chefs at your beck and call. But if you don't have motivation to start and follow, success will only be a distant pipe dream. Every year, thousands of people purchase diet books and gym memberships, then never once crack the book open. Without motivation, the best intentions are merely creations of one's imagination. If you want to have at least something of a chance to win the game, then you can't stay on the sidelines wondering what it would be like to get your chance to take a swing. Motivation is not something that can be gifted, learned, or copied. Rather, it's something that must come from within. Motivation is extremely personal, not something that others can prescribe for you or define for you. Unfortunately, for most people, finding it can seem like an endless search. The truth, however, is that all of us actually possess motivation, but not everyone knows how to unlock it. The mission of this is to help you find and unlock that motivation and understand how to keep it alive and readily accessible. But first, let's look at the concept of change and its stages that can put you on the road to long-term weight loss success. In the early 1980s, two well-known researchers, Prochaska and De Clemente, looked at smokers who were able to quit on their own and compared them to smokers who required further treatment. Their study question was quite simple. Why could some quit on their own and others could not? The centerpiece of their findings was that people quit smoking if they were ready. Given their examination through various studies, the researchers developed something called Trans-Theoretical Model, TTM, also referred to as the Stages of Change Model. This is a model of intentional change and focuses on the decision-making of the individual. After all these years, this model is still applicable and widely used. The TTM assumes that people don't change behaviors quickly. Change is continuous and occurs in a process. Studies have shown people move through a series of stages when modifying their behaviors. The original 5 stages are pre-contemplation, not ready, contemplation, getting ready, preparation, ready, action, and maintenance. Pre-contemplation. People in this stage simply are not ready and don't intend to take action in a foreseeable future, usually the next 6 months. At this point, people are often unaware that their behavior is problematic or can result in negative consequences. They tend to think others are exaggerating how seriously problematic their behavior is or can be. Pre-contemplation can seem like reluctance, resistance to being told what to do, or rationalization of behavior. Pre-contemplators have all the answers as to why they don't need to change what they're doing. The next step, contemplation. People in this stage recognize their behavior is problematic, that there is hope for change. These people tend to be on the fence. They are open to the possibility of change, but aren't completely convinced and haven't made the actual decision to change. There is an intention to change within the next 6 months, but beyond that, there is no real definition to the commitment. Contemplators are vulnerable to reverting to the pre-contemplation phase. Next step, preparation. This is the stage where things really start to happen. This is the stage of readiness. People are committed and intend to take immediate action, typically within the next month. Those in this stage begin to take small steps toward the larger behavior change, and they now truly believe that changing their behavior can lead to a healthier life. All their ambivalence has not been completely resolved, but no longer is it a barrier to change. People will have a plan of action, such as signing up at a gym or purchasing a structured diet plan. When someone is in preparation phase, they are now ready for action-oriented programs. Next step is action. This is the stage where people get busy. People have recently changed their behavior, defined within the last 6 months. They have serious intentions of continuing to move forward with the change. Those in the midst of action will have shown a modification of their problematic behaviors or have begun to acquire healthy new behaviors. Lastly, maintenance. People in this stage are pretty far down the road of commitment and action. They have made specific lifestyle changes and are working to prevent a relapse. In the maintenance stage, people grow increasingly confident that they can continue to pursue change and not slip back to previous stages. It's important to identify what stage you're in before starting your program. If you are in the pre-contemplative phase, it's essential that you are honest with yourself. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's very normal to say that you want to lose weight, but there can be lots of reasons why you simply aren't ready. The important thing here is that you don't start. Trying to start a program when you aren't ready for the change and your motivation isn't where it needs to be will most likely be a futile exercise destined for failure. At the end, you'll regret making that change and may have weight gain. Some people spend significant time in the contemplation phase, considering their options and trying to figure things out. Others, however, move through this phase relatively quickly and enter the preparation phase. Many fail in their selected diet program, not because the plan they've picked is ineffective, but because they simply started at a time when they weren't convinced they could achieve success, or they weren't ready to begin the changes necessary for the plan to work. The process of changing one's lifestyle and behavior requires the alignment of many factors that work in a chain reaction. Are you ready to change? One of the most studied and accepted questionnaires for determining readiness for change is the University of Rhode Island Change Assessment Scale. This 32-item self-report measure is simple to take and can give you substantial insight into where you fall in the stages of change. What is motivation? Motivation can be defined as the desire or reasons that stimulates, guides, and maintains one's pursuit toward a specific goal or goals. Motivation can be viewed as having 3 distinct stages. 1, the inner need or drive to do something. 2, a stimulation that arouses this need or drive. For example, you might read a story about someone who overcomes incredible odds. And 3, The feeling of satisfaction once the need has been met. You reach your goals and feel a sense of satisfaction. For the purposes of a weight loss journey, motivation can be broken down into two major categories: intrinsic and extrinsic. Understanding both and their differences is critical to how you find and unlock your motivation, which can help push and carry you along on this transformating journey. Intrinsic motivation centers around behaviors that are driven by internal rewards. The driving force to engage in a particular behavior comes from within the individual because the behavior itself brings them satisfaction. Intrinsic motivation occurs without any obvious external rewards. For example, someone reads a thriller written by their favorite author while on vacation because they love the main character and the type of stories the author weaves. This page turner is extremely engaging and satisfying. The reader has no extrinsic motivation to read the story. Instead, they're driven purely by the desire to enjoy the process and experience. This is intrinsic motivation, and there are several ways to boost it. You can set challenging goals. You can become more motivated when the goal you're pursuing has personal meaning that makes you feel strongly about accomplishing it. Goals that stretch your ability but are still attainable can also increase your inner drive. Children who are more advanced than their peers can be demotivated when the teacher is giving them work that's too easy. They don't feel the challenge, so they have less of a drive to diligently complete the assignment or take interest in what comes next. A properly defined challenge that is not too difficult to overcome can be a motivation accelerator. Or being in control. Having independent control of the goals you choose to pursue can make a difference when it comes to enhancing your internal motivation. When you feel like you have the choice of your life's direction in your personal environment, you are more likely to be determined to accomplish what you set out to do. Control is empowering. So when you are in charge of deciding what's important and relevant, you feel a greater responsibility and opportunity to achieve what you set out to accomplish. Acknowledge your efforts. Be willing to acknowledge to yourself how good you feel about setting your goals and reaching them. If motivation is the fire that makes us burn, self-acknowledgement is the fan that can make us burn brighter. Humility is an important attribute in all that you do and how you carry yourself. But there's no harm in acknowledging truth, especially when the truth is a positive reflection of who you are and what you're accomplishing. Help and compete. Finding and engaging in situations where you can help someone else can have a positive impact on your intrinsic motivation. There is something about selflessness that fires up the brain's reward-seeking loop and prompts us to make it a priority. Competing can be a tricky scenario when it comes to enhancing motivation, but it's been shown that when you're able to compare your performance favorably to that of others, you are more motivated to continue your efforts. So some intrinsic motivators are fun or pleasure, satisfaction, feelings of worthiness, feelings of accomplishment, a sense of purpose. What you were created to do is empowered by your weight loss, possibly. Mastering a skill, sharing it with others, helping somebody else. That can give gratification. Part 2 will be in the next recording. This is coming from material called Mind Over Weight by Dr. Ian K. Smith.